Okay, you might have noticed we have ads now. One, thank you for helping us get this far. But two, we want to make it as painless as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the usual post and pre-roll ads, but with the mid-roll ad, we're going to place it manually, and every time it's coming up, you're going to hear a static sound. It's going to sound just like this, and we're going to put it in spots to where it's a good cutoff time so it doesn't feel invasive or taking you out. At least that's the hope. Anyway, as I said before, thank you for helping us get there. We're going to try and make this as unintrusive as possible, and any money we get from ads or from viewers or anything like that is always going to go back into the podcast so we can do things like we are planning to go places, ghost hunt, things like that, just out of fun and just talk about it. Despite what you might think, we still consider ourselves a supernatural podcast. So yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy the episode.
Welcome y'all to Backwoods Obscura, a podcast dedicated to the lore, legends, and myths surrounding the creatures that may lurk in your backyard. My name's Hewitt.
I'm Chris.
Hello, this is new. Welcome to Backwoods Obscura. I am Knox. I am not usually here. And
Yeah, we replaced Hewitt.
yeah, I am the Hewitt now. Look at me. Look at me.
Hey guys, I was late. What's happened?
You've been
the Hewitt
replaced.
now.
You've been replaced.
Oh, well then, I'm going to slide you a couple bills real quick.
Yeah, as long as they're
Yeah, he's got.
as long as they're
debts
10,
today.
20s, 50s, 100s.
No,
that's fine.
it says energy. If
No,
if you're the Hewitt now,
Me
you
and
got to
that-
pay that one.
Me and that guy's got a beef.
So
yeah.
do I. It's going to be $300 at the end of July. I'm 90% sure.
Oof.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I need to okay. You know how everything's $10,000?
Yeah.
New roof,
Yeah.
$10,000. Replace all your windows,
$10,000.
$10,000. Replace your HVAC,
$10,000.
$10,000.
Yeah.
That's where I'm sitting right now. If I replace my windows, it would be better. But no, I have a 1,800 square foot house that has no trees near it, so I
Yeah.
get nothing but direct sun.
Oh, trust me. I live in a mobile home that is long ways north to south. Trust me, I know.
Yeah,
You can feel like in the afternoon, like we ended up with blackout curtains and mirror tint on the windows. You could still feel You could still feel the heat radiating off of the walls. We ended up putting a portable air conditioner in the living room.
Oh god.
And it ended up being true. We'll end up saving money between the extra electricity that the AC, the portable AC is going to use, versus my air conditioner running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
100% true. Now, my house is kind of the same way, except for that, like the room we're in. The only reason this room that we're in gets warm is because it has the worst circulation in the house now that we broke it into this room and my son's bedroom.
Yeah, this used to be big room.
It used to be the big room, and his vent is the best. His vent and my daughter's vent are the best two vents in the house, which I'm 100% fine with.
Because the AC unit's on that side of the
Yeah.
house.
The kitchen, washroom, my bedroom, and back bathroom and the den all get incredibly hot over the course of the day because they are on the side of the house that catches the most. Catches the sun. Like, it's kind of like if we were tomorrow morning when we're setting up for our big TBA reunion, the shed is going to be almost cold, like too cold to be comfortable in. It's still going to say it's not 75, but I know it's going to be lower. And when we go back in at 1 tomorrow to get something, it's going to feel like the AC has just been kicked on.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, just as an update, because I haven't mentioned this in any other podcast, I now have air conditioning in my shed.
That's pretty cool. We're also doing a reunion thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to have we're going to have the TBA friends. The only regular TBA cast member that will not be there will be Jed. And Jed's been regular for about 2 years with our live games, but there was a death in the family, and he's...
Right. Yeah.
I thought I was going to have to cancel because I've had a death in the family, but this is going to sound terrible. They cremated my aunt, and she is currently in a closet until some family members get back in country.
That's about right. That's about right.
The thing is the reason I say that's terrible is somebody listen to this later. They stuck your aunt in a closet? Yes.
Yeah.
She's in a cardboard box that says her name in my cousin's closet.
Okay, you know what my dad said, like, on his will before he passed away?
Dig a hole, throw me in, and go get something to drink.
He said even more. He's like, cremate me because I don't want you to have that big-ass fucking coffin. Because he was a big dude. And
Mr. Preston was a broad man and a heavy man.
So he's like...
And a practical man, obviously.
Yeah. He's like, make sure I'm in a box. Doesn't have to be a box as big as me.
But it's one of those of like, I've gotten a whole bunch of text messages. I'm sorry. I'm like, I contact my cousin. They're the ones that are upset. Like, yeah, I'm kind of sad, but like,
yeah,
I think we've mentioned this on the podcast before. Is like, my wife considers me incredibly weird about death because it does not bother me in the least. Like the method of it bothers me a lot. Like I don't want to see anybody suffering. I really don't like seeing kids with cancer, which by the way, if you can donate to St. Jude, we would all appreciate it.
Yeah, donate to St. Jude.
Like that's something I don't like, but like it's going to get me. I'm not worried about it. It's going to happen. Every last one of us is going to
perish,
to die. Like we will exsanguinate, or hopefully not exsanguinate, but we will.
That's losing all your blood.
Yeah, that would legitimately suck.
Yeah. We will all eventually meet a vampire.
Okay.
But not what I'm saying is like in my wife's family, if you mention death, they act like it's about to show up. Like you're going to say it, and all of a sudden you're going to get a knock on the door. It's like,
they are afraid of the concept.
Yeah.
Some of you have a 3:55 appointment. Like that's what they're afraid of me. Like if death knocked on the door, it's like, oh shit. Hey man, you want like a cookie and like I got beer in the fridge. If I'm going,
I gotta fit. Let me finish. I gotta finish supper. You want to? I'll
you want? Yeah.
Hey, look, man. I have 2 old Rasputins left. I can't go without those. You want one? Like
that is a 100% lie. If you had 2 Rasputins,
I'm downing both.
No one is touching them, and either of them.
You're gonna put them in my urn with my ashes. Make me into a cake batter.
I mean,
no. Like I remember when, again, going back to my dad. Talking with like the mortician, like talked about how we're going to move forward with everything, and I referred to my dad as the body, and he was taken back by that.
He is not used to it because he is not used to people using his language.
Yeah, the thing is, it's like
He's not your. Okay, I hate to say it this way because it sounds really bad. That's not your dad anymore. It is a body.
That's how I looked at it.
Your father has vacated.
Yeah, like no matter what your belief is, whether you're like Christian, atheist, or whatever, a body is a body to me.
Yeah,
like it's not the person they used to be.
At least it wasn't like, all right, now take the short ribs and loin.
Yeah, no, I would have done. Although Dad would have found that funny if I did that.
Don't public service announcement. Don't do that.
Mm-mm.
It's you don't get the nutrients that you need. You'll actually go into a deficit.
Well, hell, we're actually we're speaking about death, and we're actually talking about something that we can segue into. If I didn't actually like announce it,
rabbit starvation.
Which is actually not a thing. They've proven that rabbit starvation is not actually a thing. Rabbits do have enough of a fat content.
You know what, Hewitt? You're ruining the fucking joke.
Alphas aren't real either.
God damn it!
I mean, then again,
no, but beta cucks are, and there's a whole lot of them that claim to be alphas.
Yeah, including our president.
I thought you were going to talk about Guyliner.
What they going to do? Take away my birthday?
Actually, they're trying.
Let them.
How do they make sure no one can claim Medicaid is we take away your birthdays? You don't know how old you are.
I'm not going to rebut that because that'll get us on a tangent.
And a watch list.
That is going to go so far down that we're not going to...
We're
it's just going to result...
By the time I post this, we're just going to hear...
No, by the time you post it, there would have already been an arrest. Because what happened? Well, they kept going, and then they all got in a vehicle and bought like $50 worth of gasoline and some matches and rags.
Oh, no.
It'd be like Goodbye Earl, but it might be Goodbye Jeff.
Hey.
It's like we are chasing these people.
Okay, we gotta stop now.
We can only hope.
So ghost stories.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good ghost story?
This is actually a repeat of what originally was going to be our third episode, but we had audio equipment issues.
Yeah, we'll call it that. Yeah.
No. I went back and listened to some of our old recordings trying to see if I found the original Three Cheek Beast, which got recorded over. No, we had some severe audio issues because that's when we were still running off of Spencer's Snowball USB mic.
Oh, no, that's my Snowball, but I know what you're talking about.
And the USB had remember the USB started jiggling loose?
Right, yeah.
So we had so many whistles and pops in that one on top of...
Like, I remember we recorded an episode with that, and it got steadily quieter because the jack just...
was slowly falling out.
Yeah, it's just like... Wee.
It does not help that also Kyle brought over Hibeki whiskey during...
Yeah, I was going to talk about that.
Bosch Kyle brought over Hibeki Wiki. Hibeki Wiki.
Hibeki Wiki.
By the end of it, we were all like...
Wiki.
By the end of it, we were all that way.
Yeah.
We were all sounding like Farmer From by the end of that conversation.
And then we were just talking about... I don't even remember that.
There was a joke about golden buttholes that was a reference to your brother.
God damn it.
Xbox 360 was a hell of a thing, kids.
It really was.
And the shit people would yell at you.
That sentence alone has aged me like 20 years, Hewitt.
Legitimately still the best.
Are you the meme from the end of Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah, you said
to the old man.
360. I remember playing the original Xbox. I remember when it came out. And y'all are older than me.
Yeah, I'm just saying that the reason that was a 360 because Nate had just bought it when he was rooming with me.
I mean, Xbox 360 is still the greatest console that has ever been created. Fight me.
It did have it had some great fucking games on it.
I'm gonna say, Xbox and Xbox 360 had some of my favorite line of games. Like, because I'll be honest, I do not give two shits about a console versus a PC or console versus console. Are the games I want to play on your console?
Well, the delineation of the greatest consoles ever goes Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4.
I will say one thing with the original Xbox.
I would flip the PlayStation with the 64, but that's personally because I got a PlayStation instead of a 64.
I will say this with
and Mega Man went PlayStation.
PlayStation was not 64. PlayStation was GameCube. GameCube 64.
I'm just saying my personal thing is I put the PlayStation above the 64 because I never got a 6. I went from an SNES to a PlayStation.
Look, I will say this one. Like, I would put... Well, Mega Man's great. Like, SNES, NES, doesn't matter. I would put Genesis on there just because I was a Genesis kid. I never had a Super Nintendo. But two, I would say
Genesis kids are a weird cult.
Yeah, we are.
We're kind of weird. Look. Can we all admit that everybody liked having a friend that had a Game Gear?
I remember seeing a Game Gear and being like...
owning the Game Gear. Because, like, my thing with, like, I love my Game Boys. Like, my wife and I still have our original old gray Game Boys. Emily's has the triangle screws.
Nice.
I had friends with Game Gears, and I thought the game... Like, I love no matter how I turned my Game Boy whenever I was playing it, it still stayed mint green with black blocks. Mm-hmm. I love the Game Gear, but if you tilted that bitch...
No, it's like I was going to say is like it doesn't have the field of what is it called angular view.
No, the screens didn't do that. Like you would eventually get like You'd eventually get like you've scrolled too high in your channels, and you kind of get an image.
But
it's mostly
what I was
lines.
going to say about the original Xbox is it had the great game called The Suffering on it, which is about ghosts, which we're supposed to be talking about.
Okay, bringing us back. Bringing us back because two of us over here are...
It's coming back around.
Anyway, so what's your favorite ghost on The Suffering?
Never played Suffering.
Oh, okay. It's
let's
actually about Eastern State Penitentiary, or it's inspired by.
Let's throw this out there.
Each of us,
nerds. Damn. Let's knock this out. Let's all tell one shortish. I'm looking at Knox on this one. Shortish. Ghost story, and I will say Knox gets to go last because his shortish is not short.
I take offense to that. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I take offense to that.
You take exception.
I take exception to that.
So, you know what, Chris? How about you start with a ghost story that you've experienced?
Okay. Well, okay. So when
I'm not talking phasmophobia.
I'm not talking about phasmophobia either.
By the way, they're updating all the locations to look cooler.
We might have to play that again.
But they need to get rid of the fucking grind. So anyway, go to your story.
Anyway, guys, so one day I found a videotape and I played it, and 7 days later, no.
He died.
Yeah. I'm actually, like, I recovered, but I did die.
We had defibrillators.
I got better.
No, no, so when I was a kid, I was a rowdy boy. I would actually, like, me and my friends like to go into, like, do the thing that people call nowadays urbexing.
You mean trespassing?
Urban exploration.
Yeah, it's urban
Just
exploration.
Trespassing.
Just at the time, just not nearly as respectful.
Look, it
was a B&E.
It was not a B&E. It was just
you can't break it in if there ain't a fucking door.
So you just eat.
Yeah.
Yes.
You eat all over the place.
We eat all over this fucking place.
Motherfucker.
Look, and I wasn't the only one.
Everybody in the group eat.
It was a place for Ian all over. The thing is, okay.
All right, if I'm the one at this stage in the game, if I'm the one trying to rein this in, we are way overboard.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like, of all the places that, we would, enter and explore and see things, there's this one particular place that is a historical place. It is formerly a school. It is now a nursing home. I don't know how that happened.
Because there's
redevelopment, and it's not just it's not just a nursing home now. Now it's a there's nursing home, assisted living, and unassisted senior living apartments. Like they've expanded shit.
And the reason is because it is a school. It is a segmented building that they turn into apartments.
But this is a place I actually went to school when I was very, very young. So I went there, and then it started to shut down. It was at the end of its life when I initially went there in kindergarten. And then I was sent to a different school, obviously. But when I was in my teenage years, it was a shut down place. People would go there to play on the
unfenced playground equipment that all three of us at this table know that we played on playground equipment that survived the Cold War.
It was old playground equipment. It was they had a basketball court that the kids would go and just, neighborhood kids would gather, play basketball, do all that jazz. There was a live oak tree that kids would, go up and, yeah.
It was a safe place that unattended children could actually do outside activities.
But there was a particular area, if you knew where to go, because this was a building that was above ground, right? Like most buildings in this area were,
as opposed to how Duragar construct their domiciles under it.
Correct.
Yeah, well, I mean, everywhere in the Garden District.
You're saying it's a elevated building. Its foundation is not a slab. It's pylon.
Like every now and then there would be vents for air to travel in and out. And of course there was an area that made it easy to enter if you knew where to go. So you would go into the building from this grate. Like you move the grate and just enter the building, then go in there, and this is a place with a half basement. So one of the few places in the Garden District with a half basement.
Yeah, one of the few places in the state.
Yeah, it's crazy too.
You know what? I can't say God bless Don. Don will get mad at me on that one.
Yeah. What's crazy is from what I remember, because I remember this was one of the kindergarten areas. It was a half basement, but it was actually opened up. It was like a opened up area that you could actually see glass. There was a glass opening for you to look out into the courtyard area, which is really cool. But you would go in there, you go through up there, and then you would go between all the different classrooms, and then the auditorium would be in the middle. So auditorium with the stage. Either side there are classrooms. If you went a little bit further, and this was a risky part, and this is something that me and my friends in our teenage years learned to do, you would have to go into the outside and risk being seen because there was only a fence there, because they had fenced off the openings on all the things. And then you would go into the cafeteria, which was where the parish would store computer equipment and other things because they didn't know where else to
Did you procure RAM?
What?
As his attorney, no, he did not.
Yeah.
As his legal and spiritual advisor?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We went in there and marveled at all of the different computer
They
and equipment.
looked.
All 16 bits of RAM that were in these.
Back in the year of our Lord 2004.
When cathode tube monitors were still in vogue.
And all these computers still had shit what was the fucking math program back in those days?
You had math munchers or number muncher?
Yeah, shit like that.
Because your computers weren't fucking... This is when we still had the Echo machines or Eco machines?
Yeah. Well, these were Dells.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Rich
so...
school.
I mean, I guess, nah.
Look, dude, I remember in elementary school still having to do Reader Rabbit floppy disks.
I went to Strauss, and they had Dells there, so...
Motherfucker having to go to Strauss?
Yeah, I went to Strauss for a bit.
Don't slap teachers.
I didn't slap teachers?
Don't pee on the principal.
Jesus, okay.
As his attorney, I can't condone that.
Here's my thing: is I am legitimately giving reasons why elementary school kids have ended up at Strauss, the alternative school in my parish.
But
one of which did openly piss on the principal, and my only response is,
absolute legend.
Yes, as a teacher, no, you should never do that.
But
as an individual that says fight the power,
respect.
God damn, I'm glad it wasn't me.
But when around this age, I mean, I was getting into urbexing and, just going around being...
Thugs.
What's that?
Thugs.
Yeah, I guess. Just being a menace to society.
While drinking your juice.
Yeah. So I would go in there and, we would do things. We would vandalize and things like that.
You eat everything.
Yeah, we'd eat. There was no food in there.
Eat.
What's eat?
I'm bringing a joke back from 15 minutes ago. There was no B and E. It was just E.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit tired.
E, motherfucker.
You can't break it in there if there's no doors.
Right.
Explaining the joke ruins the joke.
Yeah, true. Fuck.
Damn
it. No,
you made Lil Wayne and Lil John both mad at this.
So this is an old building. This is a historical building in our town. And walking through it, it really feels like I'm pretty sure you know which building I'm talking about.
I know which building you're talking about. I never entered that building, even though, yes, I also engaged in Urban X for a very brief period. And may or may not have also decided to cover every last swastika someone painted with a giant pink heart.
See, that's a good trouble we try to get into. But
that's the version of graffiti I did.
Walking through there alone is a little bit different from walking through there with your friends where you're, just being...
Did you get in this building all by yourself?
Yeah. I've been in the building all by myself before.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Huh. Why not?
I thought we were only trying to keep this podcast like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm sorry.
Let us not get into anybody's existential...
Who if we get started on that, then I'm here for the night.
We are all going to be talking for a hot minute.
Absolutely.
So
it all started when...
So when I was walking through there, you go through the different rooms, I'm not there to necessarily, cause a ruckus. I just want to go in there because it's interesting and
you're bored.
I'm bored. And you're walking through the hallways and it's one of those places, like I said, in the middle of the place was the auditorium with the stadium. And then there wasn't any big partitions or walls between that and the other rooms. So walking through anywhere, there was
an openness.
Yeah, there's an acoustic. So you're walking through there and you're hearing sort of acoustic.
If a car drove by on the other side of the school, it might sound like it was just outside the window.
And you get used to that, and it's fine. But there are... And this isn't, the biggest thing, but, there are times when you... where I was walking through there, and I swear I saw people in the building with me. And it's paired with, those noises. So you get used to the noises, and then you start seeing things. You're like, wait a minute, are those noises I was hearing was, someone in the building with me? And I wasn't the type of person at that time. Nowadays, I would be, that type of white dude to be like,
hello?
You know what? I'm going to go check this out. Why not? I don't need to live. But back in those days, I was
Can't collect my taxes, government.
But back in those days, I was a little bit more skittish. So walking in there at those times was a bit freakier. But I will say, that building at least was one of the first times I still went there after seeing and hearing shit like that, because I was always curious and wanting to go.
Did I really see it?
Yeah, and also my friends would always be like, "Let's go over there. Let's go see what else they've put in there, just to see." We were just curious.
I can't really run Myst on my computer right now.
As his attorney, they just looked.
We just looked.
Have you heard of this game called WoW?
Shit. Those computers would not run well. But this was the first time I did at least see what I would assume would be shadow people walking around. And there was a few times where it was full body-ish sort of apparitions. Now, I don't know if what I saw was ghosts or if it was just my mind fucking with me, but
here's the thing. There are two trains of thought on this. That this is, aside from everything else that I've said so far this podcast is 100% serious. There are two trains of thoughts on this. One is it is the human need to find order and patterns in everything.
So pareidoia.
The acoustics in the place were weird. Sounds would carry. Your mind is finding things to make those sounds that you were hearing.
Yeah.
There is the other train of thought because I have been to New Orleans, Louisiana, a great many times, and if there is a spot specifically rurally that is over 60 to 80 years old, there is a 40 to 50% chance it is on. Period.
Something's there.
Yeah. And the thing is,
we're talking about, especially when we're talking about rural communities, whose up until not terribly long ago, you still had the tradition of sitting up with the corpse.
Mm-hmm.
When you had home funerals or home wakes, specifically, and someone sat up with the dead. Sitting up with the dead was the thing that you did. Someone was awake with the body for 24 hours.
Yeah, so nobody stole it.
Okay, so the place I'm talking about was built in 1920.
Yeah, that tracks. By the time we were kids in the 90s.
And it closed its doors in 1999. I think I was there. I was born in 87, so
you would have only been there a year or two.
I was there. Yeah, I would have been there for.
They closed it because the building was not considered up to date, but also because it pulled from such a small district for that one school. Like it was the Garden District School. Mm-hmm. They just rolled it into the school that I went to over at Lexington.
Yeah.
Well, there was that one, and then there was
J.S. Clark.
Yeah. Depending on
the magnet school. Honestly, I think they should have left it open because I believe elementary schools should pull from as small of a geographic area as possible.
But it gets into that thing where it's like, is it pareidolia or is there like something else there? Because I was actually like, there was a point where I was pretty used to going into this building, and despite the fact that, like, of course, jokes aside, you're going into a building you're not supposed to. You're worried about the police. So is that like something that you have to deal with? But at the same time, it's like, I'm so used to this area that, like, I feel like the things I would be seeing would be.
It could be that. It could be. But let's break it down. While I believe one of our triumvirate has decided to urinate.
They'll be back.
Is that... Let's break it down. You imagined it all because you were a kid going into a building that was spooky because it was dark and you're in an abandoned building.
Right.
100% a possibility. Could be that you went in there and your brain made logic out of shadows and noises.
Also true.
Building's haunted.
Building's haunted. 1920. That's an old building.
And the thing is, I would say, with the building you're talking about, so that we do not. Well, I mean,
anyone around here will know what I'm talking about.
Well, it is, but it's not even got the same name anymore. It's
something else.
God, now I'm even blanking on the name of it, and it was just.
I don't even know the name of it, and I see that building every day.
No, it was named after somebody.
Well, I know what the name is, but yeah, that's.
Well, I mean, it's like if we were to actually say the real name right now, it would not affect anything because the new building does not have that name.
But I mean, it was an interesting experience, and I think like a lot of urbexing you kind of get that experience anyway, which is why I think a lot of people are drawn to urbexing.
I mean, also before the building got turned into a assisted living nursing home or whatever, it was only one story, but it was tall enough to be two.
Yeah.
It was terracotta tiled, red brick, boxy, very much like indicative of when it was built.
It looks like a castle.
On like four blocks of the city in the Garden District. Like it would, like, if it was an abandoned building and you saw it, you're like, yeah, that's haunted.
Yeah.
Just looking at, like, and walking into the building itself with that thought process.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a legit castle.
If you looked at it, you would say, yeah, that tracks.
And the yard was big enough that it had a whole baseball field in it.
Well, I mean, it had a baseball field. It had an outside. Before they built the concrete one, there was a dirt basketball court. I mean, it had all the Jungle Gym equipment.
I see now how it could. So the building is a very large rectangle.
It had an empty. It also had an empty courtyard in the middle, like
Like, I'm assuming that's where the auditorium and everything. Was in that center. And you can see there is what looks to be it could have been a second story or a recessed roof.
You could actually okay. So when it comes to the auditorium area, let's see. Yeah, that's the building overhead. But if you were to go in there and go into that auditorium area, and if you knew how to get up there, you could actually there was a second story too that it was just beams.
Yeah.
And trust me,
or my maintenance area kind of thing.
Yeah, and there was a few times where friends
almost busted their asses falling off of them.
Yeah, there was a bit of a
there could have been more tragic outcomes.
Real quick, look up our high school and show it to him. And how the fact there's not a single fucking ghost story from my high school, just looking at it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You would think there would at least be one ghost story for the high school I went to.
Yeah, that's Neville.
It looks like it should be haunted.
Yeah, it looks like it honestly has that traditional. Honestly, you know what it looks like. It looks like the Institute in Stranger Things.
Oh, it kind of does.
Well, to be fair, our high school.
It kind of looks like the Hawkins lab. Honestly,
our high school and the four original buildings of the University of Louisiana at Monroe were built at the exact same time. So my high school looks like the four original buildings of the college. And then the annex at Neville was also built when Stubbs was built at ULM, and it's built the exact same. Like the science building where I teach at my school at Carroll was built at the same time, so they all look the exact same. And I'm like, how none of this bitch is haunted. However, I've made a joke because there's a window at the end of my hallway, and when they clogged up, or they blocked off the window by my door.
I thought you were going to say clogged up the toilet.
Yeah, when they clogged up the toilet. So there's a window down at the far end, and there used to be one right next to my room, but they covered that up when they built an addition. So if the window at the end of the hallway or any of my neighbors down the hallway open their windows up, it will open my door if I don't click it. So I've convinced my kids that my school or my classroom is haunted by the ghost of the man that the school is named for. And I go, hey, Mr. Carroll, could you just not when I'm doing a lecture and talking to the kids about history? And then the door slams shut, and I'm like, okay, kids, we're going to change the subject slightly. You now have a reading assignment.
Getting into what we're going to next, it's actually your turn.
Yeah, it is my turn. I'm not going to talk about the high school I've taught at for 15 years because it's not haunted. It is not. Some people have tried to say it is, and all the stories are like the most generic, boring, basic bitch ghost stories. Anyway, where I used to work in college, the poolside shop and Southern Hardware is now going to become the Hotel Monroe. and is also going to be a hub of Amtrak. I don't know why they're going to put a hub of Amtrak 100 feet from a goddamn bridge that has one line that goes to the switchyard half mile away. Like, unless you're building a siding, don't put an Amtrak station there because it is one fucking line.
Yeah.
Any case, Southern Hardware and the poolside shop, are soon to be Hotel Monroe, started their lives as a storage facility for a pipe fitting company that eventually did become Southern Hardware. Mm-hmm. Same family. The building that was the poolside shop was originally a theater, eventually became a brothel. Well, they said it was a cabaret, but they have found, when people come to do investigations, they have found faux forms of currency that are regularly denoted during the late 1800s as how people in New Orleans paid for certain activities.
They was fucking.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing: is there's two buildings in downtown Monroe that were literally imported from the French Quarter. Brick by brick. There's one right next to the courthouse, and then there was another one that burned down. Mm-hmm. Gone. Karma. Propane is a hell of a drug. It was actually natural gas.
And Confederacy.
No. Monroe has a weird history with that. Actually, on the note, Monroe has a weird history with the Civil War. Ouachita Parish tried to secede from the Confederacy, and they had to put Texas troops here to keep us from doing it. And
anything to be contrarian, I swear.
Also, the Confederates burnt down one Ouachita Parish courthouse, and the Union then burnt down what they replaced it with. Our courthouse is burned down 8 times. One time was over a pig, and I'm not shitting you. A man stole pigs from another man, and then instead of paying his fine, burnt down the courthouse because no legal document survived. I ain't got to pay you for pigs. Courthouse burnt.
I see no error in that logic.
I don't either, but I don't want to encourage that activity because our current courthouse has stood for 70 years. I don't want it to burn down again just because they also sometimes keep prisoners on the top floor. Any case. The ones that are kept on the top floor of our courthouse often ask to be transferred to the penal farm.
Anyway.
Any case, the conditions are great. Any case, so these two buildings have been around since the late 1800s, like 1870s. There used to be a building between them. It on itself and became what was the patio for a long time, which is where they put fountains and all that when I worked at the poolside shop. So I was always told these old buildings were haunted. Mr. J and Miss Susan. Mr. J's family owned both the buildings until Mr. J retired about 10 years ago and sold them. So that they had been in their family for like almost 100 years. Mm-hmm. During the week, it wasn't that weird. I mean, like, there were still places, like, I have a scar on my back because I accidentally fell on a wire that was not insulated because it was grandfathered and it burned through a jacket and my shirt. Like, I hit a live, open, not insulated wire from the 1800s. Mm-hmm. Man,
shouldn't have done that.
No, I shouldn't have done that. Also, I feel like
stop that.
Also, even though I love Mr. J and Miss Susan, I feel like they paid for me going to see a doctor about it, which kind of made it better. But then I was like, hold on a second, that's still not cool. Like the older I've gotten, I go, hold up a second.
Wait a minute.
But if you the poolside shop was 2 stories in the front. Technically, it's a 4-story building because since it was a theater, the top of the building is where they pulled the curtain up. And if you ever went to the 3rd/4th floor of the building, you could see where they had put a couple boards down over the gap where the curtain was pulled up. Now, a lot of times I did not go up there because there was a standard staircase from behind the bathroom in the main building, or the front, that could take you up there. And occasionally we put chaise up there, but I could not bring a chaise lounger down that staircase. I had to bring it down the original staircase, which was, hey, do you want a 6-inch step? We have 1,000 6-inch steps. which means if you ever fall down them, you're falling for fucking forever.
Mm.
So you learn not to do that because the freight elevator in the back was broken. And the freight elevator was an 8x8. You pull the cord down, takes you up. You push the cord up, it stops it or sends you down.
It is effectively a dumbwaiter.
Yep. Southern Hardware is the same, but it was a 12x12. So I really never liked going to the back because it didn't have a lot of lights because it was grandfathered in. But Southern Hardware is kind of the same way. But if you went over to Southern Hardware during the week, there was like 6 other people over in the hardware section. Or because they also sold pipe fittings and like you would have loved this, Knox. Chris probably wouldn't have. But like if you ever went to the 3rd and 4th floor of Southern Hardware, there are just bins from 100 years ago with like 2-inch M10 screws, and above them are the 6-inch. Like if you went through there, it would just be like literally an old hardware store.
Yeah.
And you knew where everything was because you worked there forever because they took care of you. The weekends, it sucked because if a light bulb burned out in the poolside shop, all the fluorescent light bulbs were stored on the 4th floor of Southern Hardware. Mm-hmm. So I would have to then walk from the front of the store to the storage room section, which was mid-store, which wasn't lit great and still had the original like box office from like they had moved the box office from the front to the mid and turned it into a pool storage like for chemicals. So like you'd walk past this like 100-year-old very ornate wooden display with glass, and then you would go back into the back, which had like 8 light bulbs for like goddamn 8,000 square feet is what it felt like. It was massive. It was a loading dock that had a train loading dock door on the side. Because originally the train would stop and you'd unload the train. Mm-hmm. Then you'd have to walk through what used to be the back hallway of the middle building that had no lights in it whatsoever. Go to the back of Southern Hardware, flip on one light so that you knew where to get into the service elevator was. And then go all the way up, and there were, unless you flipped the main breaker switch, it would not light up any of the upper floors. And Mr. J would tell me, don't do that. We're trying to save on electricity. Mm-hmm. So here I am in college walking through the dark to the other side of the building. And I've already been told the building's haunted, like by several of the employees. The owner's like, it's not haunted.
Yeah.
I'm on the 4th floor. I'm like, I'm going to grab 3 of these things because I know another one's going to go today. It's never just one big tube light going at a time.
Yeah.
So I'm on the 4th floor. I am literally a building and a half away from everybody. And I've stepped off the elevator. I'm getting the lights. And I hear from like literally 3 feet behind me, tell Jay to meet me in my office. I'm not turning around.
Yeah.
I grabbed an entire unopened box of phosphorescent light bulbs, stepped backwards onto the freight elevator, pushed it up, went all the way down to the bottom, carried them, stuck them in a closet so I could I ain't got to go over there anymore.
Yeah.
I don't got to go over there today anymore, and I know where they are when next weekend it goes out, and nobody else is over there. Now, I call him Mr. J because he told me to call him that, but everyone else called him by his full name, which I'm not going to say on podcast.
Correct.
His office was on the 2nd floor of Southern Hardware. And when I saw Mr. J, he goes, "You're really pale." I was like, Mr. J, I know I was in that building by myself, but someone said to tell you to meet them in his office. And then Mr. J looks at me, deep voice. Kind of. Like, here's my problem is like me saying someone has a deep or not deep voice.
Yeah.
Like, if I say that's not that deep of a voice.
You're comparing it to yours.
To mine, which is. Yeah. So he goes, "Did you turn around and see anybody?" "No, sir, I did not turn around." He goes, "Oh, hold on." And then Mr. J went over to his office. Now, the following Monday when I worked again, I talked to some of the employees and they go, "Oh, you talked to Jay Sr." It's like, "What?" "Yeah, occasionally he's in the building." And I go, "You're full of shit." And they go, "No, you see that picture that looks like Mr. J just slightly younger and balder. I said, "Yeah, that was his dad. He died on the 4th floor. He had a heart attack, and they didn't find him for about 6 hours." I was like, and I said, "Why do you want to see his son in his office? Because Jay Senior hasn't given up the reins yet." I was like, "Okay, cool,
That tracks.
cool." The follow-up that's connected to that is the last time I was ever on the top floor of the poolside shop, we were taking, because the freight elevator broke on that side. It broke, and it was broke halfway. So I was up handing it to somebody on the freight elevator who handed it to someone who was on the bottom floor.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the building was is that the back had a big open area. Here's the stairs. Here's the freight elevator. Massive storage area. Massive empty area in the front, which is where you could still find like play props and production props. But mostly you'd find like 18 to 24 inch oil pipe that they had left up there and not used. But there was also a storage room that had all the file cabinets that contained files all the way back to the first Mr. J. What we're talking, we're going to go 4 J's back. Now, only 2 of them have the same name that are Mr. J. And Mr. J did not like going up and checking the file cabinets up there because the room he that went into had absolutely no lights. It just had, we're going to take a file cabinet that's full of shit on a dolly and roll it up there.
Yeah.
So I'm loading stuff, and all of a sudden out of the corner of my eye, I see something that would have been about jaw to shoulder height go around. I'm like, okay, pigeon, whatever, because birds get up here. The next time I see it, it stops before going back where it came from. I'm like, birds don't hover in air. Birds don't hover in air. And like when I'm saying like I saw something, there was enough. Like I never turned. I have a philosophy. If I see something kind of weird out of the corner of my eye, I ain't turning to look at it because then I'm acknowledging it. And whatever it was stopped long enough that I knew out of the corner of my eye, there's something.
It stopped and you realized it acknowledged you.
And then it went back into the room.
So it essentially just stepped out, looked at you.
Well, it stepped out, went to the front, did whatever the fuck it was doing, and then when it was coming back, stopped as I'm loading the last chaise lounger into the freight elevator to the person who's going to hand it to the person below. Now, I would have to walk near whatever that was to go down the tiny 6-inch steps. I proceeded to then lower myself through the freight elevator and then lower myself off the freight elevator to the lower floor. Go, I'm going on lunch, guys. That was the last thing up there. Nothing else is up there. Oh, you're going to turn off the light? I am absolutely not going back up there to turn off the light. I am going to lunch, boys. It is a good day. And then
it is a good day for a sandwich.
It is a good day to not go to fuck back up there.
And I never went back into that section of the building. I worked there another year.
So you're just like, nah, fuck this.
I'll say this. Did I have 2 very weird encounters while I worked in some very old buildings? 100%. Am I going to say it's a ghost? One of them might have been. The other one, I'm afraid there might have been a homeless dude living like 90 feet up in the air in a near.
The thing is, it's like whenever it comes to ghostly experiences, like I always feel like you always have to leave the door open.
It's one of those like I saw that. It's weird. I mean, I think we all got other situations we've run into where it's like that's a fucking weird moment. But yeah, that's my little ghost story.
Okay.
So I had when I was working at the last bar that I worked at, and if you heard the last episode, I kind of touched on this. There was we called it Freddy. There was a spirit that was on the second floor bar.
Right.
Which the first floor was your regular bar. Top bar, the upstairs bar was fashioned as a martini bar. It wasn't. It was just a smaller bar. Had best juice box in Lafayette. It had a whole lot of like 70s power rock and 80s rock and 80s metal and stuff like that. It was great. The jukebox was amazing.
So just like varied music,
correct.
not
70s
just...
70s to 90s.
Yeah, when I worked at Johnny's, they would always have a jukebox somewhere, and it was always just 90s and 2000s pop and rock.
Yeah. So, in a previous episode, I talked about how at one point I turned at the end of the night after I was the manager. After shutting down the upstairs bar, I turned the volume, which was behind the bar. The volume control and the skip button was behind the bar.
So you would have to.
So I went around and I turned it down. It is across the room from the jukebox.
Okay, yeah.
Reached down, I turned it down. I turned it all the way down to 0. Went about my business. About an hour later, as we're all sitting downstairs, as the rest of the employees were sitting downstairs having a few drinks, the jukebox came back. The jukebox came on at full volume. I personally put this jukebox all the way down to 0. It was all the way to 12.
So it went
max
past
volume.
So it like y'all were just sitting there and just blast.
And the music just fucking started. So I was then told by the owner, it's like, you turn the volume on, you turn the jukebox all the way off, didn't you? I was like, yeah. He's like, don't do that. Always leave it about 1 or 2 so that Freddie can listen to his music. It's like, okay. Not a problem.
Okay.
It scared the shit out of all of us. Tell you that story to tell you this. So, I am informing a new bartender who is going to be working upstairs. I'm 100% transparent about this situation. Hey, there's a ghost up here. And she had been working at the bar for a while. We had actually worked together previously. We had gotten kind of close. We were really good. We were really good friends. I was like, just let you know, here's what's going to happen. Not what to look out for. Not, hey, this is what is going to happen. When you close the bar down, do not turn the volume on the jukebox all the way down. Leave it at like 1, 1.5, 2, just enough so that the music can come out. Freddie likes to listen to his music. This is a brick and concrete building. The second floor is concrete. You're going to get to a situation where the lights around the bar are going to flicker and the glassware is going to start shaking. Ignore it. It just happens.
It's just a thing.
It is. And we had the upside down glass racks.
Right.
The wine glasses
and to be
glasses.
clear, like here in Louisiana, I don't think we've ever experienced any sort of like seismic.
Not fundamentally, no.
Yeah, we're not like we get floods and hurricanes. We don't get.
And this is just this is a brick building, concrete floors. This bar was built, and there is martini glasses and wine glasses up top, and you will see every now and then the lights will flash. It was rope lights. The lights would flash, which normally, if you've ever had an experience with the older school, like rope lights, it happens.
Yeah.
From time to time. It is not accompanied by the tinkling of glass as glassware starts to come together and hit each other.
Yeah.
Around the bar. In order. Starting at one end.
As if it was someone
Tink,
doing
tink.
like this.
Tink, 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 tink. Along the length of the bar. Cold spots. constantly. I was explaining this to this bartender. These are the things to look out for. She looked at me and she went, "You're fucking with me." And I went, "Katie, I am not. I am being 100% serious. These are the things that are going to happen. Not might. These are the things that are going to happen." She is leaning over the bar. I am on. It is a L-shaped bar. I am at the end of the long section. She is in the middle of the short section as we are having this conversation. She's leaning on the bar, and she says, and I quote, "I don't believe you. I don't believe Freddy exists." Not 3 seconds after she utters those words, her eyes got to the size of dinner plates, and she took off out of the door and downstairs, screaming the entire way.
Wait, what did she see?
She didn't. My response was a heavy sigh and the comment, "Really, dude?"
Did he grab?
He grabbed her.
Where did he grab butt or did he just touch?
He grabbed her by the arm.
Oh, not the worst one.
So I walked downstairs, and I looked at her, and I said, "What happened, Katie?" "You're an asshole." "I didn't do a goddamn thing. What happened?" "I don't know how you did it. How did you touch me?" "Katie, I was on the other end of the bar, baby. I have no idea what you're talking about." "What happened?" "When I said that, I got grabbed. Something touched me on the lower back and the backside of my right arm."
Damn, Freddie, don't be creepy.
And I looked at her and I said, "And what have we learned?" "What do you mean?" "Don't antagonize him. Leave the jukebox on 1 or 2 so he can listen to his fucking music and ignore him when he tinks the fucking glasses. It's not that hard. He's just gonna chill here. It's not a big deal. You decided you were gonna play with him and you learned the hard way." She became the only bartender that worked upstairs. She would routinely she would go above and beyond and leave drinks at the corner of the bar.
Oh my goodness. So she was like, "Here."
Pretty much.
Freddie, be drunk, don't touch.
Pretty much. That's the experience that I had, that I witnessed. The other more blatant experience was the owner of the bar, both the upstairs bar and the downstairs bar. He built them both by hand. Cut them, built them, and epoxied them, glossed them, everything. Built the entire bar by hand. He would get off of work. I can't even remember exactly what he did, but he was usually off work by 2 or 3. He would be at the bar for 4 and work until like 5 in the morning. So 4 in the afternoon to like 5 in the morning, he'd be working. Downstairs, finishing up working on the bar. And this is a 2-story bar with a gallery style balcony on the inside, on the outside of the upstairs bar. So you had to walk out of the doors. The bathrooms were on the outside outside upstairs, but it leaned over a balcony that looked over the bottom floor. He was downstairs. Had finished working with what he was working with. He's sitting there and he's drinking his drink, and he hears, "Hey, There is no one in this fucking building. He knows because he was the one who unlocked the door and then locked it when he got back in and once he was inside. So he ignored it. Kept drinking. 5 minutes later, he hears, "Hey, come up here."
Nope.
He put his drink down. Said, "Okay, I'm coming."
Just
and
like,
walked
okay.
straight out the front door. Didn't go back for a few days. Talked himself into, I was tired. I had been drinking.
Right. As you do, you're like,
I didn't hear that shit.
Went back. Nothing happened. About 4 or 5 months later, he's working and he's got the upstairs. They finished renovating the upstairs. They're putting the finishing touches on the bar as a whole, decorating and glassware and on all the minutia. Upstairs there's a big old projector big screen TV, and a couple of recliners that are in front of it. And they were there the entire time the bar was open. So he would go in, he would start working about 4 o'clock in the morning. You'd have reruns of Coach that would come on ABC. He's busting his ass getting more shit ready for the bar. The bar's scheduled to open in like 2 weeks. He's stressing, he's busting ass the entire time. Finally finishes. He sits down in the chair. He's watching Coach, and he's half dozing off, and he hears something fall behind him. And he looks. There's a glass. A glass that had fallen off of one of the tables in the back corner, fallen on the ground. The problem is that all of the glassware was downstairs.
Okay.
And he said he looked over at it and he was so tired because he had taken time off of work and he was working almost 24 hours a day at the bar. He stared at the glass and went, "Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna finish watching Coach, and then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna go to sleep, and I'm gonna show up tomorrow and I'm gonna do the same thing that I've been doing for the past 2 weeks, which is try to get this goddamn bar open. You have 2 options: fuck off, or sit down in this goddamn recliner and watch Coach with me, and we're golden." Never had any major issues with him.
I like how, like, when it comes to ghost stories,
Get a beer, watch Coach.
Sit down. We're watching Coach. I'm too tired to deal with this.
it's like dealing with, like, I was gonna say a cat, but it could be a dog too, where you're just like, please,
Artax, cut your shit.
please stop.
So what's really cool is there was another story is another friend of mine who was the actual manager of the bar. At the time, he was sleeping at the bar. Like they would run the bar. They would run the bar. This was right when it first opened. He was like one of the first 4 employees. There was like the owner, him, and 2 bartenders. So he was there in the morning to do all the business stuff, and then he was there to working at night. And then he would literally just go upstairs, lay down on one of the couches upstairs, and sleep. Same situation with the volume on the jukebox happens. Turns the volume all the way down to 0. Lays down on the couch. Song comes on. Full volume. Gets up, walks up to the fucking jukebox, grabs the fucking power cord, pulls it out. Goes lay back down. 5 minutes later, the same song starts to play. this is the type of shit that would happen there. He ended up doing a little bit of research. Previously to being the bar, it was a restaurant. Previous to being that restaurant, it was a Chinese restaurant. Immigrant lady came, met an American, got married. They opened a Chinese restaurant, buffet restaurant. She got cancer. She loved the restaurant. She loved being there. She loved working. She was the face of the place. It was one of the little mom and pop Chinese buffet restaurants where if you go in more than 3 times, then she recognizes you and she starts
building a rapport.
She knows what you want.
She knows what she. Not only does she know what you want, she starts throwing shit at you.
She puts stuff aside for you.
Exactly.
You like the sugar biscuit?
She's.
God, I love the sugar biscuits.
I do too. She was that type of person. She loved running this restaurant. She loved being at the restaurant. And then she got sick. When she died, he left the restaurant. He couldn't be there anymore.
Yeah,
I mean because he walked in and it was her. He couldn't. In his grief, he couldn't deal with that anymore. So he ended up getting out of it, closing the business and selling off to become the other restaurant. We think Freddie was her. There was one particular spot in the corner in the top when you walked in upstairs, the far right corner, there was a table, and for whatever reason, the place could be fucking packed, and no one was at that table.
Would it be like even rare occasions people wouldn't sit there? Like
no one ever sat at the table, and if they did, they didn't sit there.
So it was like, we gotta move. It's like as soon as they get there, it's like a vibe.
Or they would get up to go get a drink and then meander somewhere else. But no one ever really sat down at that table for an extended period of time. And we always said that was Freddie's table. That's where he stays.
You're right.
He stays in the corner. He might make his way around. He enjoys the jukebox. So don't turn the volume all the way down. And as I stated previously in the last episode, these are old CD jukeboxes. They have a demo mode where every 5 to 7 minutes, they would play a song. They're not going to play the same song back to back. They're not going to play the same song over and over again. The same songs would play regular. Like once we were closed, we had Bad Company, Journey, and then a couple of other different songs that would always, they played in the same order, less than 5 minutes apart. It was not the random selection. It was the same songs over and over and over again. And I find there was one night where I was off and I was there drinking, and we went upstairs, marched straight in that corner, sat down in the chair at that table, and I am here. I'm gonna be here for as long as I'm here. As long as I'm here, this is your spot. This is your spot. That's your jukebox. Do what you want. Don't touch my bartenders no more. You'll freak them out, and then I gotta find more, and then I gotta explain you again. Just don't do that anymore.
Would you kindly, please?
Would you kindly?
And I mean, don't get me wrong. Katie was the bartender from that point forward until I ended up leaving. But never had an issue with anybody else getting touched up there. And it was a really cool experience.
Well, hell yeah. I think out of all of them, you had the most like intimate sort of experience.
Direct experience.
Yeah. But yeah, all the stories were fun. But for the moment, we are Backwoods Obscura. We release every Tuesday. We are also running on fumes because it is almost 1 o'clock.
Oh shit!
Oh, you
Yeah.
lie.
Oh no, he not a lie.
Yeah.
Oh, ball.
Yeah, the reason why I'm just like,
Yeah, we've gassed ourselves out on this, and we're also Team Bonus Action, a group of friends who like to play D&D and other tabletop games and video games. We are currently loosely partnered with St. Jude, so if you can donate, please do help us defeat childhood cancer. And if you hear this in the last part of the year after August, we are going to be partnered with Extra Life, which donates money to help parents not have to worry about paying for the children's medical bills at a series of partnered hospitals. Usually we are partnered with Batson's, but also pretty much the entire Oshner's Children Network benefits from, or my brain trying to shut off, I apologize, benefits from Extra Life because Oshner's Children's is also connected to them.
Oh, nice.
what's
So-
words?
That's new.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. I was
Yeah.
trying to salvage it.
No,
you jerk.
you're fine. But yeah,
The Oshner thing is new. And also, it does not matter what year you're listening to this. If it's in if it's in August to the end of the year, it's still going to happen, regardless of what, because we always do it. Because we always do it the last third of the year.
yeah.
Yep.
And with that, I hope you have a good day or night of whatever time it is over there.
Hey, you know what type of drink that a ghost likes, Chris?
What?
Kabua.